Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at challenge mode version of Crash. Now, I've kind of uploaded or talked about Crash a little bit before, and I know I wanted to upload the challenge mode variant, but I wanted to wait till live round. Reason being is because the fact that cheats are always going to be changed, and there are more cheats. They adjusted the cheats of this fight. It's still pretty easy. Once you have a full team and you get it down, the fight's really not that bad. I kind of like helped circumvent some things in the strat as well. We were using Myth Scions on test realm, but now it's completely different, and the whole premise is behind the Sun Serpent this time around. Sun Serpent carries hard in this fight due to the fact that they did make it so you can't change the equalize bubble anymore in this fight. So if you do try changing the equalize bubble, he will say try again, and he will basically reapply the equalize bubble. So that is a thing now in this fight, so bear in mind. But when it comes to the drops, I kind of already made a video and talked about some of the drops already, but the drops are pretty straightforward. Crash did get some drops that were changed. He initially did drop sword pins, but within live realm, I guess like this past couple days, he now doesn't drop sword pins anymore. His vendor does still say sword pins, but he's actually dropping shield pins now. So if you are going to be farming Crash, you will be getting amulets, you will be getting soccer wrenches, which is like really huge, and then shield pins as well. So he doesn't have that much value behind him because he doesn't have the sword pins anymore, but he still has shield pins. If you want to get him, you can get him. But I think the highlight of him particularly is still going to be the soccer wrenches. Soccer wrenches are heavily weighted and the best thing about him, if I have to say so myself. But let's look at Crash's cheats real quick first, because he does have some tech behind him that really ramps up the fight really quick. So he has 15k, he doesn't have a minion, and he has a couple cheats. So at the end of the round, he says, crikey, too many power-ups. At the end of the round, he'll give himself an empower, but it gives him a school pip and a regular pip. So the whole school pip thing has a premise behind it, which is his whole crash attack. At the end of the round, he does crash attack. How it was in test realm is he would do it at the beginning of the round. Now that it's changed, the fight's a little bit better, and I think this was a better change for the best, because at the beginning of the round, you just didn't get to act on your hanging effects. Now, if you leave the hanging effects at the end of the round, you will get gambited for whatever school pip he has. So if he does have 2 fire pips, he will cast a Sun Serpent. I haven't been able to test, even now, I still haven't been able to test what that Sun Serpent does due to the fact that he wastes his fire pips almost every other round. So he has a Sun Serpent. I can't give you the information about what it does because don't even think about it. You kill him too quick and he uses his fire pips too often, so don't even think about it. But if he does get 2 ice pips, he does cast Lord of Winter. In test realm, what it did is it removed 3 pips, even if it was a fire pip. Now, it also did was if he had negative charms on him, he will turn those negative charms into shields. Now, if he gets 2 storm pips, and he still has them by the end of the round, of course, he will do a storm owl. Don't know the conditional because I know it exists, but I don't know what the condition is due to the fact that he's fire and storm. So he uses his storm pips very often, so you rarely get to see this, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. If he has 2 myth pips, he does Celestial Calendar, which steals a pip and then also removes a single trap off of him. That's how it was in test realm, so keep that in mind. If he has 2 life pips, he does a Spiny Sword, which turns all of his traps that are on him to blades. So keep that in mind when you do get hit by that Spiny Sword. And of course, it's not like an AoE. None of these are AoEs. It's just a single target randomly on somebody. So bear in mind. I just didn't have space to write it all in this slide. And then of course, it doesn't overtime on the person it hits. It's random who it hits, so keep that in mind as well. Now, if he gets 2 death pips, he will do an Avenging Fossil, which of course, regular Avenging Fossil hits 1 target, puts a dot on everyone else. So there's that. And then what it also does is if anyone has a blade on the field, it will give them 3 -10 weaknesses, no matter what. Even if you have 1 blade, it will turn your 1 blade into 3 -10 weaknesses. So there's that. And then he also has Sabretooth for 2 balance pips. So he just does the regular Sabretooth, which basically puts up -50 shield for every school except balance. And in test realm, what he was doing was he also gave himself a random school pip. So if he doesn't waste his school pips at the end of the round, he will do these cheats. Now, he can keep doing these cheats over and over if he doesn't waste the pips. So just bear in mind when it comes to this. And now he does have an afterlife thing where if he dies, he comes back alive. So he does crash lives again. Once you kill him once, he will come back alive and put an equalized bubble and get back to full HP. So you just have to kill him twice. It's a really easy fight. You used to be able to get rid of that equalize, but now you can't. If you do, I didn't write the cheat, but he basically says try again, and he will just put back the equalize. And the equalize isn't 3K. It was 3K before, but this is an equalize that does 4K. So there's that as well, which, you know, we're going to go based upon that, and we have a strat for that. So here is the challenge mode variant of Crash, which you would do strat-wise. You have a balance, you have 2 fires and a storm. The balance really doesn't have to be a balance because you don't need to mana burn, you don't need to donate pips, but we just did that to like have an option there. You can definitely circumvent some things, you can move some stuff around, but basically we just Scion, kill him once, then when he gets back alive, we just do Frenzy, Sun Serpent twice, and then we do a Triton. Really easy. Not that bad. And the thing is, since we have no fanging effects on the field, we don't have to worry about any of his 2-pip conditionals, because depending on what hanging effects on the field, he will gambit and do something with it with his conditional. So we're not really worrying about that because there is no blades on us, there's no traps on us, so there's that. Because once he dies, he loses all the extra traps on him, and when we go for his second life, because he is going to have school pips by then, we just use mana burn to get rid of some of his school pips. At times it will work, at times it won't, but that mana burn is also good for just doing passive damage on him. Of course, if you don't have a balance to do mana burn, you do not have to do mana burn. You can just circumvent this by just doing anything else, really. You can literally pass if you wanted to, or even frenzy and hit as well. There's a lot of ways of doing this fight, but really just kill him once. So what we did was just trap stack and also blade a little bit, and then did Storm Scion, and then when it came to his second life, we did all frenzies and then Sun Serpent the boss. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do you have a Dark Pact on your fire? I am using a damage pet that is on a Nullity Dragon. So the Nullity Dragon helps out and hit that storm condition for the Scion. So we get no leftover blades on that storm, because if there is blades on that storm and, you know, we get hit with the Avenging Fossil or something like that, that storm gets 3 -10 weaknesses, which obviously you do not want. But it's a pretty straightforward fight. It's 4 rounds. It might be 5 rounds, so always carry another backup hit. The reason why I say that is because I don't expect people to have the min-max caps already, because this is the second day of Wallaroo, and, you know, of course I'm already able to hit the caps pretty easily with the new gear. So there's that, and yeah, I don't really have high expectations, so that's why I just have a backup hit, like a 2-pip hit works, really anything. But that's basic the whole way of doing Crash. It's pretty easy. Would I recommend farming this? No. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Just do this if you really want the badge. There's a badge that you get for killing him once, and then there's a badge for killing him 50 times. I don't know when I'm gonna do it because I have been busy recording other videos for tomorrow, but yeah, there's that. Now, it's pretty good, I'd say, when it comes to like the spell elements maybe, but the drops aren't as enticing as players thought they were going to be, including myself. Now, I assumed that it was going to be a guaranteed Reaver item or something like that, but no, you do not get a guaranteed item. It's a chance. You can get double amulets and stuff like that as well, so a lot of the stuff is like chance based, in my opinion. You do get more water, but it's just faster doing the actual fight on normal, and because you can just Scald and Incendiate, and you can get 4 times the drops than you would in just doing challenge mode once. Yeah. So take this as much as you want, but I really just think do this on normal. You could do challenge mode if you want, but that's completely up to you. But I wanted to upload this video for the people who were wanting to do the challenge mode for Crash, because it is the easiest out of the 4 by far. So there's that. But that's the basic premise of the video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. But I wanted to get a video out for you guys because I know Waller is here. Why am I not uploading? It's because of the fact that I have basically all the rings from one of the fights. I already have all the amulets at the time of recording this. I'm just missing Dex and the Thames, and if I wanted to, I can just craft all of them because I have almost like 2,000 Dream Water. So I've been grinding, but that's because I want to get all these videos out for you guys and make videos for how to grind it properly, how to get the reagents properly, all these things. So I have a lot of videos I want to upload on the channel. There is guides on how to do all the fights, when it comes to regular mode in the Discord, so you guys are more than welcome to look at that. And there's a loot map that's floating around. You guys probably already know it's mine because it has my YouTube channel on the top left, but I did update that one because some drops were changed, so there's that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. More videos out later, but I need to get to farming because I am currently farming as we're recording. I am literally I am literally farming a boss at the moment, so there's that. But hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.